Okay, so this is your second module. We are today starting with your second module, chapter 14, macroeconomic and industry analysis. Okay, so your second module talks about fundamental analysis and technical analysis. Now, first of all, what's the difference? कोई बता सकता है कि फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस और टेक्निकल एनालिसिस में क्या डिफरेंस है?
मिस फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस क्या होता है कि हम एक टेक्निक होती है जिससे हमें पता चलता है कि हम इस कंपनी के शेयर खरीदने कि नहीं खरीदने चाहिए बाय ईआईसी अप्रोच को एनालाइज करके इकोनॉमिक इंडस्ट्री कंपनी को एनालाइज करते हैं उसके बेसिस पे पता चलता है हमको शेयर खरीदने कि नहीं खरीदने और टेक्निकल एनालिसिस में हिस्टोरिकल मूवमेंट मतलब पास्ट डेटा को एनालाइज करते हैं फिर परचेज करते हो सेल करने मतलब करना है कि नहीं करना है वो देखते हैं.
Exactly right. Okay. So fundamental talks about like what Seema told is exactly right, that you will be analyzing the economy, industry, company, then you will be checking with fundamentals. Now, what fundamentals are that uh, in which product and operation companies indulge, okay, in which of which industry it is part, of which economy, means of which nation it is part, and how much supportive that nation is towards particular industry, towards particular company. Okay, so in short, fundamental analysis talks about the core business, okay, operations, product, sales, cost, okay, everything about your company. It has no it is indirectly related, it has no relevance with your stock market, with price movements or something. Okay, because the price movement, then volumes getting generated, buying, selling, demand, supply, it's only the byproduct of the fundamentals. If any company is fundamentally strong, not only at domestic level but at international level also, it can attract funds. Okay, so important thing is core business and how companies functioning, how companies operating, how it is saving on cost part, how it is competitive at margin part, margin level, how profitable it is. So we are talking about core business, and we will be doing core business analysis, taking futuristic view. Okay, but if you want to talk about future, you have to know about the past, that who are the promoters initially, at what scale it was operated. Okay, whether it was private. Okay, now like during which period it got listed, when it it came to primary market, कब उसका IPO आया था, then when it get listed, then how like what level of volumes are being traded at stock market, everything. So yes, even in fundamental analysis you are required to talk about history, but it's not about historical prices of stock market, it's about its operation itself, history about its core business, history about its holding, promoters holding, public holding, IPO, core operations, everything. So you will be checking history. Based on history, again you want to check what are the future plans, how much growing that particular firm is, what are its prospect in future, and that's why it depends on the method. Discounted cash flows. What is discounted cash flows means? You will be trying to forecast earnings of that particular company based on analysis of its operations, not only at present level but even at historical level. So you will be analyzing its operations, and based on, you will be trying to find out at least 2 to 5 years cash flows, earnings, profitability. And as we are, what we are doing, we are forecasting, we are finding future value, so you have to discount it, and that's why it is called discounted cash flow technique. Okay, you may be knowing about time value of money, फाइनेंस में पढ़ा था, कोई बता सकता है व्हाट इज टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी? हेलो?
हाँ
मैम
वो
अ,
फ्यूचर में प्राइसेस कितनी
हम जो
होगी वो उस
हम जो मनी
मीन्स
आज
आज
इन्वेस्ट कर
जो
रहे हो
इन्वेस्ट कर
फ्यूचर
रहे
में
हैं
उसकी
वो हमें
प्राइस क्या
कितना मिलेगा।
होगी वो।
हाँ
क्या
हाँ हाँ।
चेंजेस
हाँ,
होंगे?
पहले पहले काजल बताओ, फिर सीमा बताएगी, फिर सौरभ बताएगा। बताओ।
मैम टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी मतलब है कि हम जो आज मनी इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं उसकी फ्यूचर में क्या प्राइस होगी वो हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं। और ऐसा भी होता है कि फ्यूचर में हमें अगर कोई पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट चाहिए, फॉर एग्जांपल 10 लाख रुपीज चाहिए, तो हम आज कितना इन्वेस्ट करेंगे कि हमें फ्यूचर में उतनी मनी मिल पाएगी। ये जो कैलकुलेशन होता है
एग्जैक्टली
वो
राइट।
टाइम वैल्यू मनी होता है, टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी होता है।
Exactly right. So finding future worth of money represented in today's terms, है ना। आप अल्टीमेटली क्या करना चाहते हो, उसको डिस्काउंट करके टूडेज टर्म्स में यू ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट इट। व्हाई यू वांट टू कन्वर्ट फ्यूचर फ्लोज इन टूडेज टर्म्स? so that you can compare with current interest rate, current inflation rate, current worth of that money. Because we know that with every passage of time, economy is growing, and when economy is growing, there is growth of money supply, there has to be certain level of inflation. It may be fluctuating, but yes, as economy grows, it will have certain level of inflation. And as you are going on spending money, you have a higher level of purchasing power, your worth of money is going to decline. Okay, so value of money is ever decreasing. And that's why if like what Kajal told us, after few years you want to have 10 lakhs of rupees. Okay, but that 10 lakhs of rupees won't have same worth today. मतलब आज उसकी वैल्यू मे बी 9 point something lakhs ही हो. So how can you know about this? By discounting it, right? So that's why it is called discounted cash flow. सीमा कुछ बता रहे थे?
मिस जो काजल बोल रही थी वही।
अच्छा, सौरभ आपको कुछ बोलना है?
मैम मैं वही बोला था कि टाइम के साथ जो मनी की वैल्यू में चेंजेस आएगी ना, उसको टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी बोलते हैं। जैसे कि डॉलर डॉलर आगे जाके उसमें प्राइस बढ़ेगी, उसमें इंटरेस्ट ज़्यादा मिलेगा, तो बस वही टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी बोल रहा था।
Okay, so time value of money relates with your inflation rate, right?
यस
So
मैम।
in layman language, if I want to explain the same thing, like 10 lakhs of rupees after 5 years won't have same worth, same value today. Okay, if it is worth of 10 lakhs rupees after 5 years, today it might be 9.5, 9.6 or something. But depending on your discounted rate, maybe interest rate, inflation rate, you will consider this rate as your discounted rate. And if you discount this 10 lakhs of rupees at that particular rate for 5 years, you will come to know about the present value of that money. Okay, so your fundamental analysis relies on time value of money, and the technique is called discounted cash flows. So first you are required to whichever is your investment horizon, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, for that you are required to find cash flows, yearly cash flows which you are expecting from the operations of that company. And those cash flows has to be discounted at particular rate, and that rate may be expected interest rates or expected inflation rates or something. Majority of the time it is inflation rate, expected inflation rate. Okay, so what exactly in fundamental analysis you are doing? You are forecasting future for understanding the functioning of that company, whether it will be profitable, whether it can incur huge profit, whether it may incur losses. So nobody will be interested in the company for which you are forecasting today itself, forecasting negative cash flows. So nobody will be interested. So you are required to forecast its earnings. Okay, so that is about fundamental analysis. Now talking about technical analysis, yes, rightly said by Seema that that analysis is done through historical stock prices. Okay, now you can see in both the things we are discussing different things. Okay, fundamental, we were talking about core operations, core business, cost structure, profit structure, revenue structure, their holdings, promoters, then their management, decision making, future growth prospect, future projects with which they are coming up, then their IPO, then their listing, everything. And in technical analysis, what we are talking about, purely your stock price movement, and that has relevance with stock market. It doesn't talk about core business. It talks about core business indirectly through price. Okay, but nowadays again you have a subject called behavioral finance. So again, nowadays we cannot say that if certain stocks price is moving upward, it is only due to strong fundamentals. No, it may be due to sentiments. Okay, it may be due to personality or behavior of the investors of that particular economy. So there are a lot many factors. So your technical analysis is purely about analyzing historical prices of your stock. What we are doing right now, है ना? We started with risk and return calculation of the stocks which you have picked, 10 stocks. And what you are doing, you may have started reading about that, but it's not part of right now your assignment. Okay, it will be next once I explain you fundamental analysis. But what right now you are doing, you are just relying on the stock market, you are just relying on the historical prices, you are just relying on the calculation of risk and return. So that is called your technical analysis. And the other difference is, majority of the times fundamental analysis is done by the pure investors, like who want to invest for long horizon. And technical, it's not the fixed boundary kind of thing, but yes, majority of the times the purpose of fundamental analysis will be to have pure investment motive, not arbitraging or speculation. But yes, your technical analysis, majority of the time technical analysis will be done by speculators or maybe arbitragers to find out the worth or the actual value of the stock, whether it is undervalued or overvalued. Okay, so this was about the introduction of your second module. So in second module, lot many theories are there. Okay, latest theories are also there, and age old theories are also there. So we are going to learn all these theories, but basically what this module is going to talk about, you must know. So this was the introduction regarding fundamental versus technical. Okay, am I clear?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So we are starting with 14th chapter 14 from the same book, Investment Analysis and Portfolio Management by Prasanna Chandra. I'll take images and upload till tomorrow or something. In 1 or 2 days, I'll upload the images, and even I'll provide you PPT. So I think there are 14, 15, and 16. Three chapters are there in this particular module, which will talk about this fundamental and technical analysis. So yes, your second module covers 3 chapters. First module we covered 2 chapters, right? And this is the first chapter for your second module. So this will talk about macroeconomic and industry analysis. Okay. Okay, so the outline is, first bullet point is talking about your fundamental analysis. That fundamental analysis will first cover economic level analysis, then industry level analysis, and then company level analysis. It is called EIC framework. So your fundamental analysis will have 3 parts. First is economic, second is industry, third is company. Okay. Now, secondly, we will be talking about global economy. Okay, now yes, as part of India and as an Indian investor, we have to analyze stocks from BSE and NSE. Okay, but again, the companies listed on BSE or NSE may have certain promoters holding, or they may be operating as subsidiaries. Okay, majority of the companies will have, foreign origin, and something happening in that particular country will have obvious impact on a stock market functioning of that subsidiary, or whatever, in franchisee or something, in whatever form it is operating. So yes, we have to consider, at least now. Okay, that period that period has already gone. Like after 1991, government is very, what we can say, extensively it is supporting opening up of the economy, and it is very aggressive in case of allowing foreign direct investments and all. Like initially after 1991 it was FIIs which was supported more, but nowadays not only FIIs, even FDIs, direct investments, are very much supported. Okay, so we have to talk from global point of view. Yes, we will be talking from Indian point of view, because once first we have to understand what its GDP, then what is the industrial contribution in that particular GDP, what is the GDP growth rate, everything first of all we need to understand about our country India, and then we can go for other countries, and then we can correlate that if I'm picking this particular stock, how many countries economic level influence will be there. Okay, so again, तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा now, after completing first assignment, right now I'm not increasing your burden, but after completing first assignment, very first thing you are required to read is holdings, origin. Like if you have picked 10 stocks, that particular company's origin, where that company's origin is, then which country, which promoter or which parties have much influence on the functioning. Okay, because if we say that it has foreign origin and the management is in hand of that party only, then yes, their economic development, phase of economic development, or whichever adverse effects or favorable effects their economy is going to have, based on that only that management is going to decide about the company. Okay, so yes, you, after that first thing you will be checking is origin कहाँ का है. ठीक है, कौन कौन सी कंट्रीज के कौन कौन से पार्टीज का इस पे इन्फ्लुएंस हो सकता है डिसीजन मेकिंग में. ओके, so you have to start with the top management, shareholding pattern, then what's their philosophy, then which country they belong to, and how their management is going to be affected. Okay, so my point was we have to talk from the perspective of global level. अब Indian level जैसा कुछ है नहीं, but yes, of course, first of all you need to understand Indian economy in a better way, best way, then and then only you can think of other economies. Okay, and if you check with like this IIMs and this IIM people used to talk about economies in terms of have you heard like Southeast Asia, okay, Southwest Asia, Middle East, South Asia, East Asia? Have you heard this type of terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So now this people talk about they won't talk about China or Japan or Germany. No, they won't be talking about that. They'll be talking in like Middle East, phase of economic development in Middle East is this, then Southwest is this, Southeast is this, South Asia is this. Okay, can you name few countries in Southeast Asia? साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में कौन कौन सी कंट्रीज आएगी? हाँ,
मैम साउथ ईस्ट में शायद हम भी आते हैं ना,
नहीं, हम साउथ एशिया में आते हैं.
साउथ एशिया में.
ओके, आज गूगल सर्च करना
पेपर लेके
2 या
बैठना
3
पड़ेगा.
मैं
हाँ, 2 या
अमेरिका
3
ना,
मिनट.
मलेशिया, थाईलैंड, अमेरिका.
हाँ, यश गूगल करा या खुद से बोला, बताओ?
गूगल.
गूगल किया.
इसको याद होगा मैम.
गूगल किया. ठीक है, चलो गूगल करना है, 2 मिनट देना, 2 या 3 मिनट आज. ठीक है, साउथ ईस्ट में मलेशिया, थाईलैंड, सिंगापुर, ये सारी कंट्री आती है. आई थिंक मिडल ईस्ट तो सुना होगा. मिडल ईस्ट में कौन सी कंट्रीज आती है?
चाइना.
चाइना नहीं आता है. चाइना इज इनटू ईस्ट एशिया. चाइना नहीं आता है. फिलीपींस भी
मैम
नहीं
रशिया.
शायद. रशिया, ये
तुर्की.
कौन था?
ये सौरभ ही था।
रशिया किसका, कौन से कंटिनेंट का पार्ट है वो बताओ, पहले गूगल करो।
मैम दुबई, दुबई आता है, दुबई और बाद में बेरूट,
इजिप्ट।
कैरियन।
मिडल ईस्ट किसके लिए पता है? ऑयल एंड पेट्रोलियम प्रोड्यूसिंग कंट्रीज
सब
के
तो
लिए
वो
मिडल ईस्ट
साइड
नाम
जाएगा,
आया है।
बाकी
ईरान,
तो
इराक,
हाँ ईरान, इराक और
गल्फ
सऊदी
ये सब।
अरेबिया।
कंट्री समथिंग।
सौरभ सर्च किया कि नहीं, रशिया कौन से कंटिनेंट में आता है बताओ पहले।
मैम
कुछ
यूरोप
भी
का।
कितना।
मैम यूरोप
हाँ
का।
फिर, तो मैं तो एशिया पूछ रही हूँ, ठीक है।
मैम आज
थोड़ा
सर्च
ऐसे,
करेंगे। हाँ।
हाँ तो जनरल नॉलेज होना चाहिए, राइट। मिडल ईस्ट को साउथ ईस्ट, साउथ वेस्ट भी बोलते हैं, क्योंकि मतलब आपका साउथ वेस्ट और आई थिंक नॉर्थ अफ्रीका या उसका पार्ट है, उसके बीच में आता है, समथिंग लाइक दैट। मुझे भी एग्जैक्टली इतना क्लियर नहीं है, बट आप लोग देखना। मिडल ईस्ट होता है, साउथ वेस्ट कंट्रीज होते हैं, साउथ ईस्ट कंट्रीज होते हैं, ठीक है। साउथ ईस्ट, साउथ वेस्ट एंड मिडल ईस्ट, इसमें ये सारे आते हैं, ईरान, इराक, ये सारी आते हैं। And we are into South Asia, and China, Japan is into East Asia. नॉर्थ ईस्ट, नॉर्थ वेस्ट ऐसे नहीं बोला है।
मैम सबने ना ज्योग्राफी की क्लास बंक करी है स्कूल के टाइम पे।
हाँ
परफेक्ट।
हाँ, वो तो है।
स्पेशली
मुझे भी मतलब एक दो कंट्री के नाम ही पता है, मेरे को ज्यादा नहीं पता है, तो मुझे भी गूगल सर्च करना ही पड़ेगा। बट यस, व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से कि एक लेवल से ऊपर लोग है ना, इंडिया चाइना बात नहीं करते हैं। आप अगर कोई आईआईएम वाले को मिलोगे ना, तो वो इंडिया चाइना जापान नहीं बोलेगा, वो बोलेगा मिडल ईस्ट कंट्रीज, वो बोलेगा साउथ वेस्ट कंट्रीज, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, साउथ वेस्ट एशिया, मिडल ईस्ट, ऐसे ही बोलेंगे, साउथ एशिया, ऐसे सब बोलेंगे वो। So I think you should have knowledge, otherwise it depends on the interest, ठीक है। तो ये थोड़ा पढ़ लेना। Now next is central government policy, okay। हाँ, दूसरी चीज ये कि why you are required to know this breakup, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा सिमिलैरिटीज होती है। ये ऐसे साउथ वेस्ट एशिया, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया या साउथ एशिया क्यों नाम दिया है? बिकॉज दे विल हैव सम सिमिलैरिटी इन देयर एनवायरमेंट, some similarity in their geographical kind of benefits or something, है ना। जैसे ये पेट्रोलियम प्रोड्यूसिंग कंट्रीज है, तो उनका वो एक बेनिफिट है, तो उनको एक एक ग्रुपिंग में डाल दिया वो सारी कंट्रीज को। सो दे विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दोज कंट्रीज in like combined way, not any individual way. Yes, you have to analyze in individual way also, if we talk about that OPEC countries, okay, which is dominating one and everything. So petroleum is like it could be considered as raw material for each and every industry. मतलब ऐसा कोई बताओ कि जो पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट यूज नहीं करता, है ना। So it is very basic kind of resource, basic kind of raw material, and that's why it is named as Middle East countries. And Middle East countries have monopoly in that petroleum and all those things. And we are talking about, if we are talking about global economy, yes, you have to know that, ठीक है, कि उनका क्या। एंड इफ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी, इकोनॉमिक लेवल, so won't you feel that economic level won't be much different than political level as well? ऐसे नहीं लगता? हेलो,
यस
यस
मैम।
मैम।
है ना, कि जैसे हम बोलते इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट जीडीपी ग्रोथ, ठीक है, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट आरबीआई. So don't you think that political stance will also be there in case of economic development? Government है,
यस मैम।
politics है, okay. So yes, nowhere it would be written directly that you have to, you have to study political side of your political scenario of that particular country or economy. But yes, these two things go hand in hand, your economic development as well as your political influence or political framework, all these things will go hand in hand. तो ये भी है, बहुत सारी चीजें कि अगर हम ओपेक कंट्रीज बोल रहे हैं तो उनका ये पॉलिटिकल स्टैंड क्या है, उनके स्ट्रेटेजीज क्या है ना, अमोंग दोस कंट्रीज हाउ इज देयर इन्फ्लुएंस, विच कंट्री इन्फ्लुएंसेस मोर। तो ये सारी चीजें भी प्राइसिंग को लेके यू कैन स्टडी कि क्या प्राइस मूवमेंट हो, लॉट मेनी फैक्टर्स आर देयर विच यू कैन स्टडी. So this was about global economy. Then central government policy we have learnt in economics. So I'm not going much in detail at that particular time of monetary policy and fiscal policy. Yes, we will be talking much on that. Okay. Then macroeconomic analysis, certain indicators are there, economic level parameters are there, which we have to talk, and then industry analysis. Okay. So these two things are covered in this particular chapter. We are not going for company analysis in this chapter. Okay. So these two things are covered. Macroeconomic analysis and industry analysis, that is EI. Okay. EIC में से EI component we will be learning in chapter 14. Researchers have found that stock price changes can be attributed to the following factors. Now, what are these? Economic wide factors are 30 to 35%. So, stock prices are going to be affected by economic factors up to 35%. Okay, then industry factors would be 15 to 20%. Company factors would be 30 to 35%, and other factors would be 15 to 25%. So you can see, stock market, technicals, past history, then doing all kind of technical scandals, moving averages, and all these tools you will learn. Okay, but this accounts only for 15 to 25%. Okay, so we can say 75% of the particular stock price movement is going to be affected by these three main factors, that is fundamental factors. So yes, fundamental factors are much more important as compared to technicals. Okay, technical factors. Based on the above evidence, a commonly advocated procedure of fundamental analysis involves a three-step examination, which calls for understanding of the macroeconomic environment and developments, then analyzing the prospect of the industry to which the firm belongs. Okay, so industry. Second would be industry. Then assessing the projected performance of the company. So third would be the company. Okay. In a globalized business environment, the top-down analysis of the prospect of a firm must begin with the global economy. Now it is talking about top-down analysis. So there are two approaches. Okay, that one can be top-down approach and other could be bottom-up approach or down-top approach, which we are taking. What we did, we picked 10 stocks and now we are going in reverse. So that is called down-top or bottom-top approach. Okay, but if you are going for top-down analysis, and yes, exactly, if you are not, like for this particular pandemic period, we have identified two industries, or not only two, three industries which will be performing better than other industries. One is banking, pharma, and IT. So if you are not, if you haven't already chosen your industry, or if you are not with certain stocks, okay, you have already not picked certain stocks, you should take top down approach. So through top down approach, you can identify, at least for 2 to 5 years, next 2 to 5 years, you can identify which industries are good to be invested, and out among that industries, which are the stocks which you can select for investing. Okay, so that is called top down analysis, economic, industry, and company. And bottom up is you'll be choosing certain stocks, you'll be choosing certain companies, so you'll be doing company analysis, then industry, then economy. So reverse. Okay, the global economy has a bearing on the export prospects of the firm, the competition it faces from the international competitors, and the profitability of its overseas investors. So you are required to check these three fronts. Okay, whenever we are talking about global economy. Okay, so if we talk about India and even regarding China, so whether it is export dominated country or import dominated country?
इम्पोर्ट।
अच्छा, इंडिया और चाइना इंपोर्ट डोमिनेटेड है।
मैम इंडिया तो दोनों करती है ना।
मैम आप इंडिया के बारे में बात कर रहे हो ना, इंडिया
हाँ,
इम्पोर्ट इंडिया
दोनों करती है, बट
हाँ
कौन से पे ज्यादा है ऐसे पूछ रही हूँ।
कौन से ज्यादा है, तो इम्पोर्ट ही ज्यादा है।
इंडिया
नौकरी
इंपोर्ट
करना
करती है मैम।
पड़ेगा।
इंडिया एक्सपोर्ट कम करती है मैम।
एक्सपोर्ट कम करती है, इंपोर्ट ज्यादा करती है मैम।
हाँ,
और
नहीं, किसने बोला?
मैंने एंड दीपक ने।
Okay, check 5 to 10 years data and the futuristic scenario.
मैम
This
चाइना
too,
चाइना करती है।
China and
हाँ
India both. India and China both are export dominating. I think वो वाले सेमिनार में आपने सुना हो, लास्ट के जो 5-10 मिनट्स के कन्वर्सेशन थे वो इसी पे थे। एंड दैट कंफ्यूजिंग काइंड ऑफ इक्विलिब्रियम ऐसे करके आपका टॉपिक भी है ये चैप्टर में। व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस थ्री, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट ओनली थ्री कंट्रीज, यूएस, चाइना एंड इंडिया, सो इंडिया एंड चाइना आर एक्सपोर्ट ओरिएंटेड, US is import oriented, it has huge deficit, it operates on debt. Okay, सो
यस मैम
आप वो
करेक्ट।
कंफ्यूजन इक्विलिब्रियम जो है, कंफ्यूजिव इक्विलिब्रियम, उसमें क्या पढ़ोगे कि रिच कंट्रीज आर गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन पुअरर कंट्रीज, राइट? बट practical terms we are seeing reverse, that poorer countries are investing more into rich countries, or they have more investable funds. Okay, so that is reverse. So what India and China are export dominated. Same way, India and China has huge portion of savings and investment versus US. US is import dominated and it has least amount of savings and investment from their domestic population. And why this happens? There are two reasons. Like first is US dollar is highly appreciated if you check any currency. Okay, especially emerging markets like this, India, China, South Africa, Russia, all these things which are into nearby developed stage. Okay, so all these countries, if you compare the currencies, US is highly appreciated. Okay, so depreciated currency will support exports because your goods and services will be looked at as cheaper. Okay, so for that reason, India and China would be better off if they have depreciated currency. If we take example only of export, and why US is importing more, because US dollar is highly appreciated, so it could visualize its import as cheaper. Okay, and other thing is investments. Talking about investment, it's a reverse flow. It should be like जो आपकी richer country है उसमें से poor country में आना चाहिए, but actually what is happening, poor countries have more savings and investments and that is being channelized to richer countries. Okay, so why appreciated dollar is helpful? Because India and China will have maybe majority of the savings and investment may be channelized in, if we talk about only three countries, तो US में जाएगा, तो if they have assets, if they have investments into US dollars, appreciated US dollar will be in benefit, in favor of India and China. So these are 2 to 3 reasons that, and this thing he talked about, उन्होंने यही बात बताई थी कि क्यों appreciated dollar is supported by these two countries, क्योंकि एक्सपोर्ट ज्यादा कर सकते हैं, एक्सपोर्ट चीप लगेगा, और इन्वेस्टमेंट जो करके रखा है फॉरेन में उसका भी वर्थ ज्यादा रहेगा अगर अप्रिशिएटेड है। इफ रूपी और यॉन गेट्स अप्रिशिएटेड तो उनके एक्सपोर्ट भी महंगे हो जाएंगे और उनके जो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स है और आपका ये जो असेट्स लेके रखे हैं वो भी, उनका भी वर्थ कम हो जाएगा। ओके, so yes, if we are talking about global economy, you have to check export prospects of the firm, then competition it faces from the international competitors. Yes, it is like after opening up of economy, huge competition one can see from the international competitors. है ना? We even people like foreign products and not the Indian products. है ना? तो competition तो है. Then profitability of the overseas investors. How much profitable foreign investors or foreign people are seeing our domestic investments, यानी FIR और FDI आप कितना attract कर पा रहे हो. So you will have certain debt funds to be used, okay, from other countries. So all these parameters you have to check. While monitoring the global economy, bear in mind the following. Although the economies of most countries are linked, economic performance varies widely across countries at any time. Yes, exactly right. And that's why we have three categories. Okay, nowadays the one more category is emerging economies, this BRIC countries. Brazil, Russia, India and China, and now it's BRICS, South Africa. वो भी आपको case study आएगा. So these are emerging economies, or we can say there are three categories: developed, developing and underdeveloped. Okay, so South Africa and Africa was into that underdeveloped kind of stage, but at least South Africa is now into emerging economy. Lot many opportunities are there over there. Okay. From time to time, countries may experience turmoil due to a complex interplay between political and economic factors that we have already discussed. Okay, due to certain government policies, okay, due to high level of inflation, maybe government is required to depress economy for certain time, may require to reduce money supply, may require to increase interest rates and all. So all these political and economic factors may lead particular country into slowdown. It may not be a global slowdown like what we are seeing right now. It may be a particular company originated, or we can say that particular company is a slowdown, it may be. So yes, it is exactly right that all economies differ in terms of economic development. The exchange rate is a key factor affecting the international competitiveness of a country's industries. Yes, exactly right. Okay, exchange rate, we talked it already that if your particular company or if that particular industry is export oriented, and if you have depreciated currency against the foreign currency, okay, where you want to export, then your export would seem cheaper and it would give push to your exports. So yes, exchange rate is also one important indicator. I think just 3 points we have already discussed. Once again, going through what is the global economic scene. So we talked about all these countries, है ना, कि कौन से phase में हैं और and right now which country is dominating. Everybody knows, है ना. The eyes of the world is on China and India. Okay, though US is dominating the entire globe, but it has again, you know, see, if this government influences and political factors won't be there, and if the India and China think of not being export oriented or not investing much, so it may happen that the dollar may get depreciated. So once dollar will get depreciated or something, it may not have that much power. But I think it may not be there because it is something like understanding of all the nations. Okay, it is in the benefit of all the nations. But if we talk about global economic scene, yes, already talked BRICS. These are the countries which are uh, which have more opportunities, which are into nearby developed phase, and all the countries would be interested much into investing, okay, on this particular countries. So changing global economic order, that again कि अभी तक क्या था US, if we talk about world war, previous to World War One and Two, Europe was dominating. All the European countries, Germany and France and all these countries were dominating. Post Second World War, all these treaties were signed, like petroleum would be priced into dollars, and actually US was dominating after Second World War, and that was the strong, uh, you know country continent as post World War II. So due to that 1940s 1945-46 onwards the global scene got changed कि यूरोप से फिर वो यूएस पे आ गया. And now as India and China has huge population, huge opportunities, again these two countries are giving threat to all other countries. Okay, but the same thing कि ऑलरेडी इतने सालों से डॉलर इज डोमिनेटिंग द एंटायर ग्लोब, तो ये इतना डिफिकल्ट है. मतलब कंप्लीट इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर तो चेंज कर ही नहीं सकते हैं. इट इज ऑलरेडी इनटू डेवलप्ड स्टेज. सो वी as country, India and China as countries, they could be into developed phase, but it can't be reversed. Okay, so that is the scene. And the strange global equilibrium already talked about कि रिच कंट्री में से पुअर कंट्री में फ्लो होना चाहिए, बट ऐसा नहीं है. दिस इज द अंडरस्टैंडिंग एट पॉलिटिकल लेवल कि हमारे एक्सपोर्ट चीप हो वो बेटर है, हमारे इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वर्थ ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वुड बी मोर, दैट इज बेटर. Okay, and that's why appreciated dollar is into favor in benefit of these two countries, especially India and China. So I think time हो गया है. मैं शाम तक आपको चैप्टर अपलोड करती हूँ, तो आप लोग भी थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ के आओ, तो आपके जो डाउट्स होंगे, बिकॉज लॉट मेनी technicalities are there, and if we are talking about economic level, there are numerous factors. All are technicals, something like jargon kind of thing. So you have to read before coming to the class. Okay, तो
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो मैं शाम तक अपलोड कर देती हूँ. आप थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ के आना, तो आपको भी मजा आएगा और समझ में भी आएगा अच्छे से.
और मैम वो एक्सेल शीट थी,
हाँ,
वो
एक्सेल
एक्सेल शीट
शीट.
थी आप भेजना.
एक्सेल शीट भेजी है मैंने. उसमें है ना, एक ही एक्सेल शीट में साइड बाय साइड दो है, तो दूसरी भी रिस्क और रिटर्न कैलकुलेशन है.
नहीं मैम, आपने कहा था ना आप शाम तक भेजोगे, ये मुक्ति
मैम वो
उसकी बात.
एवेन्यूज
वो
वाला
अच्छा,
कंपैरिजन.
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
हाँ.
एनालिसिस वाला, हाँ वो मैं
हाँ.
भेजती हूँ. दोनों चीजें भेजती हूँ और पीपीटी भी भेज दूंगी. ठीक है,
ओके मैम.
इसमें कुछ डाउट है अभी तक जो डिस्कस किया वो?
नहीं मैम.
नहीं मैम अभी नहीं.
मैम नो मैम.
डाउट्स होंगे तो गूगल सर्च करना, क्योंकि जो चीज आपको गूगल सर्च से पता चल सकती है वो क्लास में डिस्कस करके विल बी जस्ट वेस्टिंग आवर टाइम, है ना.
Yes.
तो आज जितना भी पढ़ा ना, वो सारी चीजें मैंने 2-3 हिंट्स आपको दी, ये पढ़ो वो पढ़ो वो पढ़ो, तो वो गूगल सर्च करके आना नेक्स्ट
हाँ मैम,
क्लास में.
सर्च की है, बस पढ़ना बाकी है, पढ़ेंगे.
ठीक है, पढ़ लेना. ओके,
ग्रुप में डाला
बाय.
है.
ठीक
थैंक
है,
यू मैम.
थैंक यू मैम.
वेलकम.
थैंक यू मैम.
Bye, have a nice day.